Let's see if MaxPax can pull off one of his classic upsets against Clem. It is one that he wins more often than a lot of people would expect him to, I think. As we start in the top right-hand side of the map with the red products from Storm Gaming, MaxPax. He gets GLHF said to him by the Blue Terran in the bottom left-hand side of the map. It is, of course, Team Liquid's Clem. And one of those best of 3. As a probe comes out across the map here to begin with. And we get this series started up. I mean, these two really do have a bit of history against each other at this point, right? We really have seen them kind of clash heads and really kind of get feisty with each other a good few times at this stage. Yeah, the ESL Open Cup replays, we can't give them out at all. They are released to other content creators via ESL, but only other, they're not released publicly. The idea being, they don't want these replays to be something which can be used against players during DreamHack or so on, so they don't want to discourage people from playing in the Open Cup because their replays get released via casters and stuff, basically, so just ESL taking a step to protect the players and to keep everybody playing in events and stuff, I suppose. Makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I actually quite like it. I mean, it sucks because we've actually just done a bunch of events that we can't give replays for, Usually, if you spawn on Patreon, patreon.com/WardiTV, by the way, help support the WardiTV tournaments. Or if you're a subscriber on the channel, we send out replay packs, but everything I've done lately, I have no replays from. I've done, World Team League, we cast a clean feed. Next, we cast a clean feed. ESL Open Cups, we're not allowed to give them out. So yeah, I don't actually have any replays for you guys because of it all lately. So that's a little bit unfortunate, sadly. But such is life. Let's see, Reaper hopping up into the main, having a look to see what's going on now. Twilight and the Robo continuing to build here out of MaxPax's. The Adept comes through, and a couple of SCVs already taking a little bit of damage. The Adept actually led up into the main. Bit of a mistake there by Clem as Marines start to take some damage. Another Marine pops out. Unfortunately, these Marines were all a bit out of sync as well. It does lift the depot now. If the Adept's in here, the Adept is in here. Well, you get Scout in his MaxPax, but you do guarantee yourself losing the Adept. You get one Marine out of it. Don't think Clem is that bothered, actually. Maybe Clem didn't mind the Adept getting stuck up in his main base. Take a while to deal with it and so on. Yeah, no, it actually didn't seem too bad for him at all. Well, the Reaper's across the map, and that's just going to hold out position as Clem. Oops, someone's lagging.
Game paused.
Who is that? That's a pretty serious lag spike, but nobody's saying anything. Oh, it looks as though maybe it was on Clem's side.
Game resumed.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. Another barracks goes down then. And we continue to settle down in the main. Well, Dark Shrine comes up as mentioned before, so MaxPax goes into his little bit of tacking, showing us a bit of what we want to see right here. He's going to go up against a Raven. Well, we've seen this one before today with Clem involved, right? Raven ready, Mana does nothing, and then Clem kills Mana 2 minutes later. Now let's hope that this one is not quite as scripted as that, because, well, that would just be a shame, of course. I mean, the thing is, DTs don't necessarily need to do... Oops. Just clicked as I was putting something down behind my keyboard. DTs don't necessarily need to do like a ton of damage in these scenarios most of the time. You know, most of the time, just a little bit of damage, or even just delaying the terrain is pretty nice, but yep, this doesn't really do much. One DT does get into the natural. This time Clem was not walled off at the front. So that's a really good scan, though. It covers the entirety of the natural, and Clem just going to let the DT walk away anyway. Oh, that DT should never have been allowed to live there. And now the scan. Well, I mean, DT's still trapped, but now DT's in the main base are doing more damage as well. So 9 SCVs have gone down. Yeah, that got a little bit messy. He's actually going to lose 2 more DTs, though. The Viking is going to get the Prism kill. He recalled the DTs. Everything dies, and... well, yeah, you get more damage done, but overall... Clem gets a full cleanup. I think that's just as good for Clem as this was the last time around, actually. Yeah, just referring to the mana game. It might not be, you know, no deep damage taken, but getting rid of the 2 extra DTs means no Archon across the map, no Prism to worry about. No Prism even defensively is a pretty big deal. A tank siege here just casually picks up a Stalker kill as well. I'm going to start his 4th gas behind this as we push on forward. Marines coming through, looking to compete with the rest of this here. Looking to push on through. I'll take on a bit of a fight. Just going to be seen how Reaper putting some damage out. The Stalker getting bopped backwards a little bit. I'm not going to, I mean, long map to run across, right? As the Raven taking some hits. MaxPax trying to target it, doesn't get it. Now tries to hit the Viking. It doesn't go down either. Oh, man. Everything's just kind of going wrong for MaxPax as Clem's going to work his way around the right-hand side. Tank already sieging up. Gonna hit the Stalkers. One goes down. I mean, units get a jump from the tank from the left. And now Clem's a little bit stranded over here, and with Prism Micro, these units should be able to survive. So yeah, good cleanup from MaxPax in the end. But geez, took a little while. I mean, had me believing that he was maybe just kind of taking damage and not really getting any damage back, and hence might have just been in a whole ton of trouble. Whew. That was a little bit scary, guys. I'm not gonna lie. That was a little bit scary. Well, Raven does get back home, and that gets repaired up. So, the Raven is at least full HP again. That's one thing that Clem did preserve throughout this. It's actually going to let the Raven take some shots again. Was it intentional? Initially, it felt as though it was like, okay, you know, you hit the Raven, I'm going to deal some damage to your Stalkers. The Stalkers actually blinked. All 4 of them went down for the Raven, and now you lose the Prism again. And we kind of rewind back to the situation which I feel like we've been in. Prism just went down. The units just went down from MaxPax. And Clem will come across the map to see if MaxPax will then have enough to hold on after those units have fallen early on. My goodness, just keeps happening, doesn't it? It's all crazy, in fact. As our Bioarmy moves along the right-hand side, we are going to go stimming toward the Nexus here, and that Nexus is going to take some hits. Zealots and the Colossus wanting to come forward at the moment and try and engage into this. Fire Force. Just going to utilize the Siege Tank for a lot of free damage here so far, and just going to go back and forth a little bit. I'm just going to be having our Nexus is going to fall. So Nexus goes down. The DT now gets scanned and also will fall here. Now move through, pick up the battery. They continue forward, this tank firing up. I mean, Zealots are going to go down, but the Colossi and the Immortal will not be engaged. And Clem, I think, happy just to kind of back off and keep on trading throughout that, so I think he's pretty content with how this has gone at this point. As you see, Stalkers, oh, nearly getting the medevacs, but not quite. They just about managed to survive as well, huh? Jeez. All the little things right now from Clem, huh? They just add up, though. You know, these medevacs not dying. And you can use these units just to do so much more, right? Clem gets so much out of every single unit, and that's what's so frustrating. And that's why when you got a chance to kill a Clem unit, you kind of got to take it, because if you don't, probably going to be running into some problems for sure. On the top side, the bio units are moving through. I see that Shadow Stride coming up on this natural, and good amount of units from MaxPax moving around the center. A few additional Zealots just warped in. The Zealot is dead. It's a large map, so if Clem wants to start dropping in multiple directions at the same time, that is the kind of thing that can get pretty crazy pretty quickly. There goes the double medevac out the left, so just pull that back. Looks like MaxPax will get to be the aggressor onto Clem's army. He's switching into Disruptors behind this. Of course, 3 Colossi is kind of the number you want to be at. More than that, and you're just kind of inviting the Terran to overmake Vikings and have a great time. Less than that, you just don't really get the splash you want. 3 really is the magic number there. And now you transition into your next stage of splash damage, which the Disruptors, they've been a very common way to play. Obviously, you already have the Robo Bay and the Robo facilities up, so you have the tech to build them right from the start. So you can transition very easily and very sweetly into that next step. As that's also unload and a couple of SCVs. Already taking some damage, so a couple of workers going down, one more Zealot warping in here as well. Just going to see a few Marines stemming from the right side, and a bunch of those Zealots taking hits. They will all go down as 8 workers fall. The Bio Army going to move up the right-hand side now. Disruptor shot fires, doesn't quite land though. 19, 20 SCVs now going down. Marine's going to go and jump in on top of that Prism, does kill it, but 30 workers killed because the DT's at the third base too. So Clem's taking a lot of damage here. Tanks will get sieged. You're going to be seeing a couple of those tanks cleaned out pretty quickly. Disruptor shot clips the edge of the army. Clem, can you make anything else happen though? Because you've just lost 30 workers. He's still trying to chase those DTs around and out of here. This is going to be tough. If MaxPax holds this 4th base, Clem is not in a great spot for sure. Can MaxPax hold this 4th base will be the question. Well, runs into a fight, disengages from it. That's the kind of thing that already helps Clem out a whole bunch because it's essentially free damage. Now Clem's getting on top of this Nexus, and time is ticking for MaxPax to make something work here. Hazard's running in once again. Clem is just going to clean up a few of them. That said, MaxPax is getting more and more Disruptors out, so more and more Disruptors being brought into play. A couple more Zealots get shot down once again. Another Disruptor shot comes through as now the Zealots come in for the flank, and this is what we needed MaxPax to find a fight to push Clem back, and he does it. Clem with not a lot left after that. He does run to the natural at the same time with a few units, but looks as though this army is done for the moment as well. It's going to back away. And Clem's supply is trailing coming out of this. He's been rebuilding those SCVs like crazy, so he's only 11 workers behind, but after being cleaned up on the army, he's obviously not been able to build as much recently because of the lack of workers before now. Now it looks as though MaxPax might actually have a push through to take this first game. Let's see what happens. Tank's not sieged just yet, and the tank's going to get blown up by Disruptors instantly. He actually could have double hit this first tank, I think, with the tank on the left side, so that's a mistake. And now the Bio Army actually gets through on top of the Colossi. The Disruptors died in the process as well, and somehow Clem turns it around with the siege tank still standing. Once more, it's an SCV massacre over on the western bases. Those Zealots and DTs chasing through for so much damage. SCV after SCV keeps on dropping down here. The DTs and the Zealots just putting in the work. Even gets a siege tank on that ramp right there as more of these SCVs will continue to go down. You have Ghosts and Marines coming back through as well. Snipe lines up, going to land on a Dark Templar. DT of MaxPax moving back up the left-hand side. Just going to see Stalkers, Colossi, and Zealots all coming through. And the Nexus is going to build in that 12 o'clock position as well. So all of that continues up as our +1 armor upgrade continues in for MaxPax at the moment. So just getting that +1 armor upgrade continuing on through as Ghosts and Bio units now work their way around the top. So many SCVs killed at this stage, right? This is 63 SCVs. I mean, Clem has lost more SCVs than MaxPax has lost Zealots in this game. Which is kind of an astounding statistic, actually, because MaxPax has been running in some Zealots like crazy all game long as well. Especially the harassing Zealots, right? So, it looks like MaxPax really is stabilizing, because now his army is stabilizing with an eco lead. It looks as though he's going to be able to take this one home and put Clem down a game, which, like I say, you know, MaxPax does this oh so frequently. He's very good at He always seems to be able to grab a map off Clem. What he can't always do is close out the series, so we'll see how games 2 and 3 are approached, but I mean, if nothing else, it's been a fantastic start to this. Clem sees the army approaching him and he says, GGG. He's going to tap out, and this round of 8 is going to be led by MaxPax 1-0. Left side of the map is going to be our red Protoss player from Stone Gaming. This is MaxPax, and he is up 1-0 in this best of 3. Those run-bys putting in the work, killing off SCVs. Again and again, well, improving his position for the larger army fights. A very well played game, and honestly, without anything crazy happening at the start. Yeah, the DTs did okay, but I actually kind of felt Clem was coming out of the DT phase of the game in an alright position. There's the macro, and I know a lot of people are very quick to jump on MaxPax still and be like, well, you know, does he play standard? Can he, can he do anything other than play weird? Well, that kind of was just playing standard, right? That was just playing standard right then and there, so yes, he can absolutely do it. And Clem is in danger of being eliminated in the quarterfinals of this ESL Open Cup. Of course, quarterfinals nowadays takes home prize money, $800 up for grabs every single week. 3 times a week, really, because there's obviously Europe, America, and Asian Cups every week here in the ESL Open Cups. $800, $50 for the top 8, $100 top 4, $150, $250. Split across the top 2. Lots of prize money. Lots of prize money on the line. I was going to be seeing that pro coming through then. A little bit of a wander around. Trying to see what's going on. This is going to set up in the center. And what's up, Mad Alien? Thank you so much for the 15-month resub on that Prime. Appreciate it. I'm just going to open with the second barracks. So second rack's coming down. This will usually be followed by barracks number 3. So third rack's coming down. It's Reaper, Reactor, 2 more racks. Meanwhile, the Twilight Council already building from MaxPax. So if Clem just checks this Reaper hop-up spot, he would already get to see the tech of this game, and he will do that. Hops up. Oh, a Twilight Council. So you're already well on your way to figuring out at the very least what's probably going on here. We'll see what Clem wants to do with this 3 racks opening. Does he want to play a stim? Does he want to play a concussive shells? Usually stim is kind of the way to go. I know Mary did. I'm kind of in love with the little concussive shell attack that Mary did not so long ago, but it was pretty fun actually, and it won him a game pretty easily. It works on like your opponent's timings being off, or just not expecting the attack too soon because they're expecting the stim timing. Obviously, concussive shells is done a lot sooner, and you're like, haha, marauders! This is just going to be stim from Clem, though, so a little bit more of the standard way of going about this. As that stim pack starts up, attack lab number 2, probably just concussive shells right away. At the moment, plenty of marine production at the moment. All the marines coming through at the moment here, then. As the Reaper hops up, Reaper hops down. First Marauder even on the way up as well. Of course, this will look to aim for a little bit of a timing as Robo comes up alongside 2 additional gateways, so we're going to be going to 4 gates in total. So it's actually going to be this Bioforce against a 4-gate Blink attack. Now, the benefits of the 4-gate Blink attack against the Bioforce is obviously there's no siege tanks to zone you out. So generally, you can get a lot done. Especially before Stim, etc. is done, you can pick away at a lot of units. The problem with Blink is that when Stim is done, you will have the Terran pushing back for map control much sooner than they would be able to with a factory-based opening. So that is how sometimes this goes wrong. And of course, if you make a bad Blink, those bio units can stim in on top of you as well. So there's definitely, cause for joy and cause for concern on both sides, really, when these builds go up against each other. It's not really a given either way. See, Clem's initial startup here going to be a few Marines and a bunker, splitting up the units a little bit. Gonna be seeing these few Stalkers continue to blink on down. Gonna poke away at the bunker here, so I'm doing the initial bit of damage to start off with at least, and this Bioarmy kind of wanting to just contend with the idea of moving out a little bit, putting on some pressure out at the front. Stalker's putting some damage, and that bunker looks as though it's going to go down. Stim is done, and already see Stalker's being pushed back. That was one of those bad blinks I'm talking about. Didn't really get the units far enough away. Now Clem gets everything else showing up, and MaxPax has kind of got to just go running with those Stalkers. That was not it at all. That was not the way to play that one. Well, now the Stalkers pull back. Marines and Marauders going to pull back up the ramp. 1 Marine, 2 Marines go down, 3 Marines go down. Kills being made across the board. Is now a Bioarmy's going to go chasing through. The Stalkers do just about back it up. Of course, here's Clem's issue, is that the more you stim to fight those Stalkers, the less HP your units have, and you've got to kind of wait for those Medivacs to be ready. So Medivacs do come through. First one's on the way now. First one started, just waiting for the gas for a second, and that one begins now as well. Into the main base. 4 Stalkers are going to move through, blinking forward, and it's going to go jumping on those SCVs. There's a couple of SCVs already being picked off, and the rest of this Bioarmy is still kind of just sitting out the front here and kind of continuing onwards. So bringing that out the front, just going to be seeing our Stalkers kind of blinking back around, staying in that prism. And really, more than anything else, just staying to be pretty annoying right now, right? Just kind of moving around here and there, looking for a couple openings, looking for a couple opportunities. Fire Force comes in again, and a few Stalkers do get pushed back into a recall pretty much immediately as our Psystorm upgrade comes through on the Templar Archive. So you can already see the upgrade coming in. Stalkers just get 1 or 2 more SCVs, but at least finally now Clem's across the map. Let's see what he can do. I mean, Medivacs are already healing these units as they just move across. Don't think Clem has any sort of numbers advantage to run in here and to make a claim to this base or anything along those lines. Let's see if I'm wrong, though. A couple of Zealots already taking a couple of shots. The Bio unit's kiting backwards. The Zealots going to continue chasing for the moment, and well, spreading just a little bit. Again, those gates still coming up right now from MaxPax. So all of those gates coming in. Our Psystorm is about to complete, as mentioned before. Our +1 attack upgrade on the Engineering Bay is also coming up to completion. Well, Clem obviously just moves out to his own 3rd base. He was never going to win with just 1 attack off of that, as MaxPax comes out of a bit of a supply block at the moment. Now going to be seeing this Bioarmy of Clem. Still going back around. Zealot is going to be taken down also as the few Marauders press forward. This one Zealot sneaks by. Widowmine goes off, picking that Zealot away, or picking away at that Zealot already. Just going to be seeing the reinforcements of Clem now pushing across. Let's see if round 2 of an push across the map will actually have any effect. He's got an attack upgrade lead, but that's about it. A Widowmine drop finds 3 probes, but is otherwise shut down pretty rapidly. Storm's ready. I mean, this is where we see if MaxPax can put those Storms to use. Clem's got to push up a pretty narrow ramp if he wants to fight this, so you'd imagine those Storms are probably going to get some play. I think Clem knows it's Storm as well, right? He looks at this army, it doesn't make sense for it to be just gateway units. There's not enough of them. He sees the Prism hanging around with the army as well in weird positions. This Widowmine now, he actually got a shot off on the Prism, which would have been scary as well. Looks like Templar's starting to drop, but he doesn't quite get the chance to actually drop any further Storms. Clem was very careful of continuously guiding away and staying out of trouble. So Clem gets out of trouble and stays out of trouble. Once Zealots down the right, they're going to run up into the natural expansion. Here comes the Bioforce here. Oh, Clem going to move up. Stalker's taking a little bit of damage. And Ghost gets picked off. And Marine gets picked off. I mean, there's going to be a lot of SCVs starting to go down. Clem just doesn't have a good response right now. A couple of units starting to pop out, but Clem's best response was actually just running these SCVs around, because then at least these cells... What was that? Widow Mine reach from here to here? Wow. Because then these SCVs at least are not standing still, just taking hits. The Zealots have to chase. He does get a few probes across the map, and the entire Bioforce came back home to properly shut this down and to defend it. So it is going to be fully defended and cleaned up now, but... Whew, was... looking a little bit scary, to be honest, for a moment or two. I was looking a little bit scary. Clem comes back up the top now. Another Archon is about to finish morphing here from MaxPax. So, he really is up to 3 Archons. He's still got Storms available. And he's even switching into Colossi now. I'm still a bit worried about Clem actually having any sort of tech to fight this. Look on the map, there are 3 ghosts, all 3 of them at home, so can he take a larger fight? Probably not. And obviously no 4th base from MaxPax, so that is a big positive for Clem, the fact that MaxPax is kind of stuck back on the 3 bases. You know, the more this is 3 base against 3 base, the the happier you're probably going to be with this. Couple of EMPs go down. We are going to have our Vikings coming back around the left side. Colossus taking some hits. Now Nexus is going to go down, so Nexus falls. Now Storm's coming down toward the lower right as well. It's putting some damage out. A couple of Widow Mines connecting on a Zealot or 2 also here at the moment, as we do have still this Force of Clem looking to push on through. Archons moving in. Couple Stalkers going down. These Archons still being chased away. I'm just going to be having another Storm dropping. MaxPax is just going to be holding this off. He really needs to establish this 4th base, though. Clem's 4th base is down and is ready to begin mining at this point, so if you don't keep this 4th base alive as MaxPax, you start running into more and more trouble. I like the tech that he's gone up. I like the splash he's got available to him. He just needs the economy to keep it going. Clem's going to try for the flank in. Doesn't work out. So it's not that he kills nothing, but he doesn't get the Colossi like I think he was originally aiming for. MaxPax now hitting rocks during this fight. Needs to be careful about those misclicks. That's something you obviously want to try and stay away from if possible. That Nexus is getting dangerously low once again. Storms are chasing the Bio Army back though. Prism goes down. That's what the Vikings busied themselves with. Although now no answer to the Colossi, and his Colossi have put in a good amount of work so far. Here we go with the Archon still trying to push through as well. Not really going to find too much. And this army still just backing away down the left-hand side. Trying to stay and just, well, trying to get out of and stay out of trouble. Stand up on top of this army, these Widow Mines and Burrow, and just going to be seeing still this Force of Clem. Moving around a little bit. Firing through, I mean, trying to kite back into the Widow Mines, and obviously MaxPax is doing a very good job of just not chasing that. He's just kind of holding his position. This will not allow to commit through into one fight already, as Disruptor Shot fires, does connect on one Widow Mine so far. Actually trying to line up snipes across the Warp and Hin Zealots. It works out actually, hits the EMP on the Archons too. Tom gets a couple kills nice and swiftly there. MaxPax finally getting this Nexus up and rolling, but it almost feels like it was just too late anyway, right? As you can see, Clem is just getting more and more done. These tech units are being picked away at, and the supply gap is rising between the two players. Clem's almost doubling the army supply of MaxPax at this stage. And it was beautifully done, right? Just over the course of so many little attacks. Clem just consistently pokes and prods and pries and wiggles away, and just anything possible he can do against MaxPax, and just slowly chips into a lead in the army. While obviously, I mean, a big part of it was denying that 4th base so frequently and getting his own 4th up. Yeah, just doing it without losing so much, and there's so many chances where Clem could have overcommitted, could have overengaged, could have lost too many units when it wasn't necessary. But he stayed away from most of those, so credit to him as a Disrupt Shot flies, but does not land. couple of snipes tried to line up on Zealots. Didn't quite work out, however. Rest of the Bioforce going to go up to the top. Still see MaxPax bringing everything else around to the middle here. Just having our army moving down the right then. So a bit of an army down the right into the center. Gonna come through, and that's going to be a Zealot already sniped down, so Zealot will fall. EMP goes down, lands on a few Stalkers, another Disruptor shot, lands on a Ghost. We've basically been having this standoff for a little while at this stage, right? We are just kind of stuck in the middle of neither of these. I mean, MaxPax can't really move out, Clem can't really move in. I like what Clem's doing though, right? Liberator's on the way. It's a way to improve his army a lot and really kind of maybe take advantage of the position which he is in. Blink here from MaxPax, a brave move, trying to get some ghosts. He's actually going to get a chance to get rid of a couple of libs right away. Disruptor's pushing the rest of the army back. It's taking way too long to get rid of these liberators, and the Vikings putting some major damage. Vikings going to land now. Disruptors seemingly die before he got that shot off. These two Vikings try and jump into a medevac, but the Disruptor does claim their lives before they're able to. And now MaxPax has Disruptor Archon and, you know, a group full of Stalkers. Well, especially with Clem going into Liberators, I'm really not confident about this. I was just about to say before that fight happened, you know, MaxPax was also using this time he bought wisely. Teching into like the Shadow Stride, the DT Blink. That is something which also will help him to kind of continue to be in a good position this game. It gives him a lot of options, right? If you can take that DT Blink and blink around DTs and harass, that's a way for you to get back in the game. So I liked what he was doing with the time that he bought for himself. It definitely made a lot of sense. Advanced Ballistics, +3 armor, all continuing through, is just going to be having still the additional DTs warping in. This army of Clem comes forward. Liberator's going to set up. A couple DTs going to get sniped down already. Another little disruptor shot that doesn't really go anywhere just yet. Little Stalker Archon army is going to come down the bottom right and it's going to move in toward the Planetary Fortress. So I like the idea. Again, I like a lot of what MaxPax's ideas are. The problem is there's just a reality check that sometimes ideas aren't good enough when you're playing against Clem. Because Clem is pretty darn good at kind of figuring out what he wants to do as well. And he's pretty good. You know, his ideas are also brilliant. And he's really making sure that whatever MaxPax tries is not looking to be successful. Disruptors defensively look great, but I was just like, yeah, Disruptors down here. They can't walk up cliffs like Colossi can. Into the main base we go. Can't attack into Disruptors. Just go around them. Stalkers, Archons, DTs all coming through here. We're going to need a scan pretty much immediately. That's a lot of DTs. Scan comes down. Was there an EMP? Apparently not. The DTs don't lose shields right away, but it doesn't matter. The jump up into the main base is good enough to win this game. And Clem is going to tie this series up 1-1 in the quarterfinals. This has been a pretty stellar series, to be honest with you. One of the better Clem MaxPax series that we have had. Sometimes, you know, these two, they do trade maps, but it's kind of like a, oh, MaxPax proxy Void Raid and got very far ahead, or, you know, Clem wiped the floor with him the second time. You know, both these games have been kind of longer back and forth games, not really looking to go either way, or for either player, anytime, like, you know, way too quickly or anything. I really updated us on the score. Sorry, I had to grab a grape. I ran out of I don't have a drink anymore. Needed something to wet my mouth a little bit. Just as we get started, Twastat, thank you so much for the 17-month resub on the Prime. Hell freaking yeah, thank you so much. Really fun series. Kind of hope that Game 3 goes similar to Games 1 and 2, because it's nice to watch these games go along and go back and forth and stuff. It's been A lot of fun so far. Burrow getting nibbled as we do see the SCV of Clem. Gonna back away from the bottom right. Oh, it's one over here, Marine? Oh, really? Oh, did that game just end? I assume if you're watching on Hero Marine stream, I'm obviously watching on a different caster's stream, right? So you guys have a couple minutes edge on me. Probably like a 4-minute edge by the time that you guys hear me talking about Hero Marine Lambo, and then I know I talk about it on, you know, based on a 2-minute delay, and then 2 minutes after that, you guys actually see. So it's like a 4-minute difference. Yeah, it actually does look as though I just turned it back on. Looks as though Hero Marine is looking to take game 1 over Lambo. So yeah, looks like that is true. Yeah, I get it, guys. You guys don't have delay. I do. Yeah. Yeah. Do. Yeah. Do. Step taking some hits as the Twilight Council go and be finishing up over in this main base. And winner of this would play the winner of Lambo and Hero Marine in the semi-finals, which is why we're kind of keeping an eye on that series, keeping an eye on that matchup, because it could be impactful on how our broadcast finishes up tonight, or comes towards a close. Doesn't necessarily finish up. MaxPax never wins a game he doesn't cheese. I'm really glad you watched all the first 2 games of this series, especially the first one where MaxPax did not cheese and won the game before making that statement. Don't you guys just love making dumbass statements based off nothing? It's a favorite. You know what? It's a good pastime. I'm gonna start making dumb statements while casting as well. God, isn't it crazy that these adepts didn't finish? Like, they could have been up on the high ground and, like, putting damage on this depot. I don't care that they would have died, guys. Like, they could have damaged the depot. Let's not actually think about the consequences or what happened before, what would have happened after. Let's think about the here and now. You know what? I know it's only 5 minutes in the game. Why MaxPax just had, like, 7 Colossi right now? He could kill everything. I don't care that he's not got the economy for it. He could just kill everything with 7 Colossi. Why doesn't he do that? Oh, what an idiot. We call these guys pro players. Unbelievable. Stalker's going to blink in the main to get a bit more serious, actually. These Stalkers go up. Stim's about to be done for Clem. He's going to lose his Marauder before it can stim those. He's going to pull the SCVs to try and defend this. He aimed for the Prism initially. That means he's not going to get any of these Stalkers killed. He's killed 1 Stalker. Obviously, the Adepts here are going to be stoked, but that's 10, 11, 12 workers killed. In fact, we're not done yet. These Stalkers now going to blink back up to the main base. Clem's just freaking dead! Well, who needs 7 Colossi if you can just go with 14 Stalkers? That works as well. MaxPax to the semi-finals. Just 4-gate blink, and Clem's just not really ready for it right away. Why'd it go wrong for Clem here? He's opening just reactor kind of right now, right? Like, this Rax feels kind of late. No? I guess because he goes bunker first, and then Rax. Well, it's kind of because he does such an in-between build. He does 2 Rax with the Engineering Bay. So he actually goes into Stim, and he goes into the +1 attack upgrade. Then he goes for the Factory. And so it's just such an in-between where you don't actually have as many buy units as you would with the 3 racks. and you don't have the as many bio units as you would with the 3X, and you wouldn't have the factory units, of course, as well. And he spent money on a missile turret at the front, so that's another, and a missile turret in the main as well. So Clem was just very unsure this game as to what was going on. He obviously saw something. I was going to mention the turrets, but I was busy being a silly rambler. But yeah, I mean, really, those turrets are just 200 minerals as well, which he just did not need. And none of that helps him with the defense. So Clem loses game 3. And MaxPax wins with the 4-gate blink because Clem just, A, not really the right build, and B, just, like I say, not even just not the right build, just even then a bit of a misread, I think, on what Max